I'm happy to do that. So there's another plugin that I really like, and I send you the link and a blog of somebody about a tool called, let me copy this over first, copy, called StyleBot, and this is a plugin for Chrome, so I can add it to my Chrome. I get an extra button here, and in my page designer I can now say options, I go to styles, I add a new style, I want it to appear f*p equals 4000 page 4500, and I copied the CSS that you can see on that link that I sent you. Where is it? Here it is. So this is the link I sent you, and in the bottom you'll see a whole bunch of style sheets, styling. And the nice thing is that if I now refresh my page, you'll see that the divisions, the sections within my attributes now have a more recognizable color. So they used to be white. I can put it off. See? Now I have to add it again. So this is the normal view. Let's collapse everything. You'll see that everything is white. If I refresh my page, now the sections are blue. And I can more easily distinguish where the sections begin. And so I'm using two plugins. This one to dock the grid on the right hand side, and the StyleBot one to add some extra coloring to this.
Hi, Richard.
Yeah.
Can you show me where you would go to choose to delete a page you've created?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure it's obvious. Oh, thank you.
That's where I normally do it. You'll get to a kind of a confirmation page. This you normally set to yes. So I want to delete corresponding list entries. So I want to delete entries in my navigation bar and in my navigation list and in breadcrumbs and so on. So normally you will set this to yes when you delete a page. Okay?
Thank you.
Next step is regions. So what a page is for regions, a region is for other HTML content. It's a container. It contains items or buttons or other regions, sub-regions they are called. And you can even have sub-regions. And those components are added during the region creation wizard or after the page has been created via the definition screen. So you can add extra regions to your page. And this is an overview of the types of regions there are. The breadcrumb region we already saw, automatically created by the page creation wizard. There are calendar types and charts and classic reports based on a function, help texts, interactive reports, and we will cover those two today, classic reports and interactive reports. We can use the old style calendar. There are list regions, maps. You can use PLSQL dynamic content. Yesterday somebody asked me, can we still use our mod PLSQL code within Apex? Who was that? I'm
Might have
sure.
been me, Richard. That might have been me. I'm pretty sure. I think.
Yeah, you are using then PLSQL dynamic content regions.
Okay.
I will demonstrate a really quick example today.
Okay.
You can have regions that select other regions. For example, we're using tabs or accordions. You can have static content, so nothing special. We have tabular forms, trees, and the result of a URL. So the display point, so where is a region displayed on your page? And yesterday I covered page templates a little bit. On the left-hand side, you see that a position is chosen being body 3. And where will this be inserted in your template? At the body string substitution string. So there are 3 types, 3 positions within that body 1, 2, and 3. Just consider them an ordering. So body 1 will be shown before body 2 and body 3. On the left-hand side, you see how it looks in the builder. On the right-hand side is an overview of how the template looks. And here in the bottom is the actual HTML template of the page.
Can you have regions parallel to each other, side by side?
Yes, but that's done using styling and using the grid. But I will show you that too today. Yeah, please ask the question again when I'm doing a demonstration on creating a region. I will show you how to put them next to each other. But in essence, they are created at the substitution string within the template. And also for regions, there are several ways to create one. Either during the application creation, it already creates a region when you choose to add a report page, for example. During the page definition screen, for example, to create a button on the top. There is a create button on top, I should say, in the page definition screen. On the left-hand side in the tree, you can right-click on the regions item and add a region. And of course, in the bottom, remember, you can use the drag and drop facility. And in 4.2, there is even a create button on the developer toolbar. And wizards may create more than just one region. If, for example, you are creating a report with a search facility, then the search facility will be in a different region than the report itself. And also for this, the exact steps in a wizard vary by region type. Of course, a map has different attributes to be filled in than a report, and a form needs other attributes than a report. So let's create a region in my Scratchpad. We go to Scratchpad again, and I'm going to clean up a bit. Let me see. Well, this looks nice, but this one I'm going to delete. So I will delete page 3. Delete a page. Yes. Permanently delete. And I'm also going to delete page 4. The employee page. And going back to the application, I now only have 2 pages, a home page and an employees page. Let's create a new page, a blank one. We'll call it employees. We're going to use breadcrumb. Back to home. No, let's use departments. Next, and navigation entry. Next, we've done this before. Finish, and now we have an empty page. So let's create a region. In the content body, we create a region, and it has static content.
You're on the department page.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want it to be. Does that surprise you?
I thought you typed in employees.
Yeah, and later on I changed that into departments. You missed that, but I did. So department, just as a title. If I now run this page, you'll see that I have just a static region on the page. And somebody asked me if I can put another region there. I can. Oh, H2. And I run that, and you'll see that it's below each other. And if I now want to set this next to each other, I just drag it to the right-hand side. And they are next to each other.
How do you do it in the component view?
That's a good. First, let's put it back how it was. It's a bit more work in the component view, but you can do it. So I will put it below each other. Yeah, let's see again if they are below each other. Yes, they are. Let's go to the component view. And it's a little bit more work. So this is the first one. And then there is grid layout, where I can say I want the column span to be 6. And I want to start a new row. I hit apply. Well, what does that for my page is that it only gives me half of the page width. And now in my second region, I say that it should not start a new row, and it should start on column 7, and the column span should be 6. And if I now run the page, they are next to each other.
Okay.
Yeah. So the universal theme, and this is theme specific, the universal theme has 12 columns. Let me see how I can show that. You can see that here, white, red, white, red, white, red, white, red, white, red, white, red. You see that? You see the columns in my screen here?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So it actually
Uh-huh.
shows what columns are used by the regions in this case. And I know that the universal theme has 12 columns, so I split them up. The first one uses columns 1 to 6, and the second one uses 7 to 12. So that's how you do it in the component view. In my page designer, they are next to each other now. Yeah, and you can also change those grids layouts over here. The column span can also be 3, and this one can be 9, and you can play around with your columns like that. Well, that's logical, because the second one cannot be new column. Yes, column span 3. Now it looks better. See? So this one now has 9, and the second one has 3. So that's how you place them next to each other using the grid options. Accessing the region definition is either by clicking the region name in the render tree part or clicking the region in the designer view. Going back to edit page 6. So I either click on the region title here, and then on the right hand side I can see the attributes. There are even more attributes if I click this one. Or by clicking the region in the page designer, and you see on the left hand side it also selects the correct region. And in the component view, I need to click the title of the region to access the attributes of this region. I think in this case the page designer really gives me a nicer overview and a nicer way of editing those attributes. So editing a region, the content attributes will vary by region type. An HTML region only has a few attributes, and my example here are HTML or static regions, static content. See? And if I go to a report region, and let me open up a report region because employees had a report region. So I have a search region here and an employees region here, which is a report. Then you see I have a SQL query in my attributes, and I have an extra option to see what page items need to be submitted for this query, and so on. So each region has different attributes. You see, a search region does not have an SQL part, not an SQL attribute. And of course, the interactive report resembles the report a lot. It has also a query, but it has some other attributes where you can enable and disable some attributes of the interactive report. And the property editor is used to configure regions. You've seen me putting text into an attribute, but there is also a nice zoom functionality. If I go back to my employees region, I can open this up and make it a bit bigger. But if I use the zoom, I actually get some color coding involved. And if I don't know what table to use, I can open up the query builder, or I can validate my query to see if it's okay or not. I can even do some autocomplete functionality. Well, this time it doesn't work because it's not a package. But with packages, it works flawlessly. I can use search and replace. I can look for a specific piece of code. Well, this is not that much, but you can imagine that sometimes big queries are being put here. I have an undo and a redo functionality. And I can have different colorings as well. Personally, I like the default enough. So if there is a text area involved in your attribute, then you can use the zoom functionality over there. Again, the undo and redo, a find, a replace, the query builder, autocomplete functions, validation of the query, and you can customize the look and feel of the code editor. Any questions on the regions?
Nope.
How do you get a region within a region?
Okay, that's a good question. So we are in departments, and that's not departments at all, but so I can do two things. I can try to put this into the region content in subregions, and then I should change the grid of this region back to 12, and I should use this one back to automatic. And you now see in the tree also there is a child-parent relation between the two. So you can
How do
use
how do you do it in component view?
in a component view, you do it a bit different. How does it look? Let me see. Let's see. So it's inside of each other now. Let's get it out again. Let's get it out again, I said. I save it. I go to the component view, and the second one should be part of the first one. I scroll down a bit, and there's an option for the parent region. I just want it to be a part of number 20. If I now apply changes and I refresh this page, then you don't see a difference. Yeah, so that's how you do it in the component view. So we are going to add a new region. And as you can see, there is no chart region involved here. So let's create a new region, and it should be called event counts by type. The type of the region is a chart. And it should use a query in code samples M05. So where is my problem? Here it is. How does it look? Okay. And it should be a chart. And then I need to have a look at the attributes, because I want to use a flash chart at 3D mode. And the chart type, it should be, what was it? 3D flash pie chart. Pie chart. Let's run it. Was the result the same at your end? If you want to use the wizard for this, and I'm going to remove the region again. If you want to use the wizard, I'm going to component view, and in regions I hit the plus, and I will choose a chart. A pie and a donut chart. Oh, go back, because it should be a flash chart. Pie and donut, a 3D pie. It should be called event counts by type. Next. Event count by type. I can set some animation if I want to. Next. Here I have to put the query. Copy, paste, next. Create region. Run the page. And this is the animation I selected in the wizard. So there are some wizards available in the component view that are not in the page designer view. And last time I saw people from the Oracle development team, I told them this and they were kind of surprised it was like that. So I hope in Apex 5.1 Within the page designer, we have a bit more wizards. Yeah, so this is how it's done in component view and designer view. In the component view, you can use the wizard. In the designer view, you kind of need to know where to click. Yes, any questions on creating a region? The other type of regions like reports and forms are covered in the next modules when we discuss reports and forms. Remember, there are different types of regions, and all of them have their own wizard.